Dear children, let us continue the chapter Sources of Energy. Now let us discuss about alternative or non-conventional sources of energy. Till now we discussed about the conventional sources of energy. What are the conventional sources of energy? Fossil fuels, kinetic energy of flowing water, potential energy of water at a height, wind energy, biomass fuel, etc. are the conventional sources of energy as they are used from the ancient time. Children, compare the lifestyle of your elders with the lifestyle of today's generation people. Find out from your grandparents or other elders how did they go to school, how did they get water for their daily needs when they were young, what means of entertainment did they use. Get the answer for the question and compare the lifestyle. With the technological progress, demand for energy also increases day by day. Our lifestyles also changes. Our basic requirements are also increasing as industrialization improves our living standards. We use machines to do more and more of our tasks. So the demand of energy increases and we need to look for more and more sources of energy. The most important, convenient and largely developed conventional sources of energy are fossil fuels like petroleum and coal. They causes pollution problems and these are not renewable sources. With modern development and large scale usage, their stocks are depleting. As our demand for energy increases, we need to look for more and more sources of energy. We could develop the technology to use the available or known sources of energy more efficiently and also look to new sources of energy. Any new sources of energy we seek to exploit would need specific devices developed with that source in mind. We shall now look at some of the latest sources of energy that we seek to tap and the technology designed to capture and store energy from their source. So, which are the new sources of energy that we need to tap are solar energy, geothermal energy, ocean energy, nuclear energy, etc. Then, what are non conventional sources of energy? The sources of energy which are not using for a long time. They have not used for the long time. They have not used from the ancient time. With increasing demand, recently energy from sun, sea waves and earth is also tapped. The energy derived is called non-conventional source of energy. This type of energy tapped and the usage is started in the modern days are called non-conventional source of energy. So then what are non-conventional sources of energy? Non-conventional sources of energy means such sources which are not in routine use so far are called non-conventional sources of energy. Examples you can say solar energy, tidal energy, wave energy of the ocean, geothermal energy, nuclear energy, etc. So you write. So you write that what are non-conventional sources of energy? Sources of energy which are not in routine use so far. Sources of energy which are not in use for not in routine use for use so far. Not in routine use so far. is called conventional sources of energy. Are you right? Sources means are called conventional sources of energy. So new sources of energy means, example you write, example solar energy, geothermal energy, ocean energy. In that ocean energy you can have tidal energy and wave energy. Tidal energy and wave energy, and also thermal energy. Thermal energy. There are three types of energy that you can get from the sun. Tidal energy, right there. They are what they are? Tidal energy, wave energy, and thermal energy. Ocean thermal energy, that is ocean thermal energy. The next, nuclear energy. Now let us discuss about the solar energy. What is solar energy? The energy obtained from the sun is called solar energy. Energy obtained from the sun is called solar energy. The sun has been radiating an enormous amount of energy in the form of heat and light. This energy is called solar energy. The sun has been radiating an enormous amount of energy at the present rate of nearly 5 billion years and will continue radiating at the rate for the about 5 billion years more. About 1/3 portion of the sunlight consists of infrared rays. The sun provides us both heat and light energy. About 1/3 portion of the sunlight consists of infrared rays. These infrared rays have a property that they heat the objects on which they fall. So, infrared rays heat the object on which it falls. Thus, when sunlight falls on an object, it gets heated up. And this heat can be used for various uses, but the sun's energy or solar energy that is available on the earth is highly scattered or diffused. Only a small part of solar energy reaches the outer layer of the earth's atmosphere. Nearly half of it is absorbed while passing through the atmosphere, and the rest reaches the earth's surface. Solar energy can be highly useful if it can be concentrated and collected. Only 47% of sun's energy reaching the periphery of the earth's atmosphere reaches the earth's surface. Under clear sky conditions, India gets an average of 4 to 7 kilowatt per meter square. India is lucky to receive solar energy for greater part of the year. It is estimated that during a year, India receives the energy equivalent to more than 5000 trillion kilowatt hour. Under clear skies condition, the daily average varies from 4 to 7 kilowatt per meter square. The solar energy reaching unit area at outer edge of the Earth's atmosphere exposed perpendicularly to the rays of the sun at the average distance between the sun and the Earth is known as the solar constant. It is estimated to be approximately 1.4 kilojoule per second per square meter or 1.4 kilowatt per meter square. What is solar constant? The solar energy reaching unit area at outer edge of the Earth's atmosphere exposed perpendicularly to the rays of the sun at the average distance between the sun and the Earth is known as the solar constant, and this is estimated to be approximately 1.4 kilojoule per second per square meter or 1.4 kW per meter square. So you write that the sun has been radiating an enormous amount of energy in the form of heat and light. This energy obtained from the sun is called solar energy. So what is solar energy? The sun has been radiating an enormous amount of energy in the form of heat and light. This energy obtained from the sun is called solar energy. So sun provides heat energy and light energy. So that heat energy is nothing but infrared rays, IR rays, and here they are the visible light. Light energy is nothing but, here it is visible light rays. These two rays are obtained from the sun, and this togetherly it is called solar energy. And you know that infrared rays are having a property of heating the object when they falls on the object. So they are the energy which is in the form of infrared rays is called the heat energy. So infrared rays heats the object. Infrared rays are having the property of heating the object when they falls on the object. And also you know that here the solar constant. What is that solar constant? You write solar constant. The solar energy reaching unit area at outer edge of the Earth's atmosphere exposed perpendicularly to the rays of the sun at the average distance between the sun and the Earth is called the solar constant. That equals approximately 1.4 kj per second per square meter per square meter, and that is also equals to 1.4 kilowatt per meter square. So that is the solar constant. Children, do one activity in relation with the solar energy. Take two conical flask. Paint one conical flask with white paint and the other conical flask with black paint. Fill both the conical flask with water. Place the conical flask in direct sunlight for half an hour or to 1 hour. Place the conical flask in direct sunlight for half an hour to 1 hour. Touch the conical flask. Which one is hotter? You could also measure the temperature of water in the conical flask with a thermometer. And what do you observe here? Here you can find that the water in the conical flask with black paint is having more temperature. So what you can clear here, a black surface absorbs more heat as compared to a white or a reflecting surface under identical conditions. Here it is observed that the water in the conical flask with black paint is having more temperature than the water in the conical flask with white paint. So what you can conclude here, a black surface absorbs more heat as compared to a white or reflecting surface under same condition, under identical conditions. So by using this principle, there are many solar devices, mainly two devices which works by using this property in their working are solar cookers and solar water heaters. They are the solar devices which works on this property. Then by trapping the solar energy, we can have its many uses. So what are the uses of solar energy? Solar energy coming onto the surface of the earth from the sun in the form of heat and light can be used for cooking in solar cookers and heating water in overhead tanks using solar heater, and also to produce the electricity using a ray of solar cells. A ray of solar cells. These are the uses of solar energy. So you write the uses of solar energy. The heat and light energy, heat and light energy coming to the surface of the earth from the sun. From the sun can be used for first one, cooking in solar cookers. Cooking in solar cookers and heating water in overhead tanks using solar heater. Heating water in overhead tanks using solar heaters. using solar heaters. And third one, producing electricity using array of solar cell. Electricity using solar cells. So these are the main uses of solar energy. What are solar energy devices? The devices that are used to harness solar energy for useful purposes are called solar energy devices. These are classified into two categories based on their principle of working. One is solar cookers and heaters, which are the solar energy devices which collects the solar energy as a heat. And the second one is solar cells. They are the devices in which solar energy is directly converted into electricity. So you write, what are solar energy devices? The devices that are used to harness solar energy for useful purposes are called solar energy devices. Solar energy devices. So they are classified into two categories based on their principle of working. First one is, they are in two categories. First one is solar cookers and heaters. Solar cookers and heaters. Then second category is solar cells. Solar cells. They are the devices in which solar energy is directly converted into electricity. Yeah. You write that solar energy is collected as heat. Collected as heat. In this, solar energy is directly converted into electricity. Solar energy is directly converted into electricity.